I didn't get into Overwatch until 2017, so I kind of missed out on its peak popularity during its first year of release. Despite this, and because of what a gargantuan impact the game had on the gaming sphere, it was inescapable. Without touching the game, you heard a lot about the characters and the idea of the universe it was in. Since playing the game, this has made a lot more sense. The game has no indication of the story, or very little of it. There's a voice line here or there, features prime locations, but you can't get the story from the game alone. It's all about the outside media, which are easily found and easily shared online. You don't even have to play the game to enjoy the universe, and because the game doesn't confine you and reveal the story all at once, they can hide information and give to the fan base little by little. And one of the biggest and most significant was the reveal that Tracer is in a relationship with a woman. This caused a huge stir, mostly positive, some negative, because men wanted to fuck a fictional character, but it was highly talked about. It makes sense. She was the poster child of the game, one of the most recognizable characters, and most importantly, she was not the obvious candidate for being the chosen gay of the cast prior to her reveal. If they had gone with a character like Zarya or McCree, that would have been a bit more predictable. They were basically considered gay icons from the moment we saw them. And that's because we got some clues. Us gay people tend to apply the gay or trans label because of the subtext we see. Their iconography screams gay. In a bit of a stereotypical way, but that tends to be the easiest things that we can grab onto. Zarya is a masculine woman with short dyed hair. McCree is basically a member of the village people. But when it came to Tracer, there really wasn't a lot to go off of. Or if there was, it was all hindsight 2020 at this point. We learned about the character and her personality prior to the sexuality. Her defining characteristics were set in stone. This means that her sexuality does not define her. It's a part of her, it means a lot to many people, but it's not the first thing that comes to mind when you describe Tracer. Unlike other queer characters in media, this has caused a different dynamic when it comes to the other Overwatch characters. Before you needed that subtext we talked about, there had to be something about the character before there was a compelling argument for them being gay or trans. And yes, many people have gay ships, but that's not entirely what I'm talking about. Even if the characters are canonically straight and are already in a relationship, the ship persists and it's not trying to make any sort of argument other than I like them together. Ships are an entire can of worm that I don't want to go into today, but like I was saying, there had to be an attribute about the character that gave us those queer feelings. But since Tracer, I've noticed the Overwatch cast needs none. It's no longer necessary to explain why the character might be gay. The potential is there for others, including the robots. For these characters at least, straight is no longer the default. It's not straight to approving gay. They can just be gay. Because they are, or they're not. We don't really know all there is to know about these characters. This doesn't happen in other media made for general audiences. Sure, it happens all the time in media made specifically for a queer audience. Everyone is gay in gay fiction. But when you have a game made for a wide variety of people, things tend to stay pretty hetero, even if there is a token gay. What Overwatch has done, and no, I don't think it's intentional, but what they have done is hard to pull off. But it's also the kind of mindset that I hope that we go off in the future with. Romance is an easy tool to force emotions. It's used everywhere, but not all narratives depend on romance. And in those cases, without any direct confirmation of any sexuality, one way or the other, we should feel free to apply our own attributes onto the character without the need of explaining ourselves. Gay people do not need an explanation. And I've expressed all this to say, Roadhog is my boyfriend, and if any of you go near him, I will fuck. My name is Josh Rivers. Thank you so much for listening to the ramblings of a clown. You can follow me on Twitter at PixelPixelBoom. You can leave a comment below with your suggestions on what I should talk about in the future, Overwatch related or not. I'd like to thank my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. And I love you guys. I will see you guys next time. And remember to have fun. Bye, guys.